I'm Haley Zale. I'm an actor, a model, and a level 2 judge for USA Boxing. I'm also the great niece of 2-time middleweight champion of the world, Tony Zale, who's best known for his outstanding trilogy with Rocky Graziano. Uncle Tony was more like a grandfather to me because my dad's dad died when he was 8, so Uncle Tony stepped in and helped raise my dad and coached him in the sport of boxing. And then my dad trained me. My dad taught me the secret combination that helped Uncle Tony knock out so many of his opponents. Boxing has always been a passion in my life, something I've always been proud of. Now, I'm proud to share my passion with you.
Welcome to In Your Corner, a weekly show that brings the fight world into the 21st century, from the latest news to betting apps and odds to women's equality in the sport. We'll also spotlight and honor the legends who came before us and talk with those who made a difference outside of the ring. Let's get into it. This sport is made up of great fighters and athletes. But with all the glory and fanfare, there's still battles being fought, not just professionally, but personally. We talk with a single mom and a professional fighter who's championing for women's equality in the sport of boxing, Heather Hardy. Do you think that you were born to be a fighter?
I'm a survivor. My whole life has been about fighting to survive. Those skills really translate in the ring because I'm not scared of nobody. I'm not scared of nothing.
In your career, you've had 24 fights, 22 wins, 4 by knockout, 18 by decision, and only 2 losses. You're ranked as the world's 3rd best female featherweight by BoxRec and 4th best by Ring Magazine. But there's still one fight you haven't won: women's equality in boxing. Why do you think boxing is so resistant to women?
Boxing has been a boys' club for a long time. Women historically have been treated as inferior when it comes to sport. Boxing is the oldest sport in the Olympics, yet it was 2012 before women were even allowed to participate. 1997 when women were allowed to participate in the Golden Gloves, and shortly thereafter in national tournaments. So maybe 2000. So we're looking at years and years and years of female fighters whose epic fights that just went under the radar. You had television networks. When I started boxing in 2011, 2012, as far as 2014, 15, where ESPN, Showtime Boxing, HBO Boxing would look me in the face, these executives would look me in the face of the fights and say, "It was a great fight, Heather." And I say, "Well, why won't you showcase me? I'm sorry, we don't televise females." So the people and executives were vocally saying things like that. There weren't opportunities. Women's boxing, while it's flourishing at the moment, is still in its infancy. We're still crawling up. There is so much systematic sexism built into the sport, into the business side of boxing, that there are so little opportunities for us. You have this guy saying, "We're not going to televise female fights," and the promoters say, "Well, we can't pay you because you know nobody wants to see you." Well, nobody knows I'm here. So it's really just starting to get a showcase of female fighters. The Olympic classes have brought more attention. International fights brought more attention. You have Showtime. I fought on HBO, DAZN, this international streaming service, things like that weren't available to women 10 years ago. So, 5, 10 years from now, we might be a different conversation, but I don't think I'll ever see that big money in my day.
What do you think we could do today to help the women fighters of tomorrow?
I think that a lot of times boxing promoters, and I've actually heard this used in my presence, think she's just a dumb fighter. She gets hit in the head a lot. What are you asking her for? They think fighters are stupid. And the truth of the matter is, anybody who's ever gotten a boxing ring knows how smart you have to be. I think that in order to make better fighters, male and female, you have to educate on the business of boxing, how the money's getting made, why people want or don't want you, how much money people make off of you and offer you. That's the problem. A lot of fighters go in and they think of boxing as a sport. They love the sport, they're good at the sport, they want to make money off the sport. So they hire a manager and go, "Okay, just do that part for me." No. My mother told me when I was young, don't let nobody, can I say bad words? Don't let nobody fuck with your money. If it's your money, you figure out where that's going, right? I see managers here negotiating deals for girls, telling them, "Oh, I'm giving you $5,000. Meanwhile, the contract is for 15 or 12, And they think they're getting as much money as they can because they blindly trust the manager, not understanding that that's just an extra stop where the money is going. You understand? You want to help kids? Make sure they understand their role in boxing. Fighters are being taken advantage of. We don't have a union. We don't have a rep who cares about us. They don't care about us. I've seen kids die because nobody cared about them. They only see them as money. And I get so emotional about it because it's not music. It's not a song. People can die doing what I do. And then you have people to say, what do you think, you're worth more than $20,000? Yeah. You know why? Because, and I said this at one of my fights, Eddie Hearn want to offer me $20,000 to fight. Are you going to be the one to go tell my daughter that mommy's in the hospital, she's not going to walk again, and all you give me is $20,000? No.
It's 2016, Brooklyn girl at Coney Island at the Ford Amphitheater, and you're fighting Shelly Vincent for the WBC title. At the beginning of the fight, they announced on television on NBC Sports that both you and Shelly were victims of sexual assault. Can you tell me about that experience?
I think that we're finding in 2021 that there's more and more women who experienced some form of sexual assault, be it rape or just inappropriate contact. And that's kind of the basis of the Me Too movement, right? Like, the worst part about being raped was feeling like it was my fault, and it happened at such a young age. So I grew up feeling like I was bad because this happened to me. And just to digress, it was actually one time, I think I was about 12, and I was watching Oprah, and Oprah said, I don't know if this is for any of you, but it's not your fault, it's his fault, and you need to stop carrying that burden. You need to take it and give it back to him and get it off your chest because you didn't do anything wrong. And I remember bawling in front of the television because I'd never heard anyone say that before. I felt such shame, such disappointment, like everything was my fault. And in that one sentence, Oprah changed the way I felt about my life. And I grew up wanting to be that for somebody. So that's why I've spent a lot of my life being so honest about, not having any money and growing up the way I did and being assaulted and struggling with my kid, because there's no shame in not always having your shit together, right? Like, there's no shame in having a past. And you can still succeed, because I remember saying, like, Oprah is the greatest woman in the whole world. She's so smart and generous, and this happened to her too, and it made me feel like I could do. So every time I talk to a little girl who fights, I want her to know that no matter where she came from, that she could do it.